Good day everyone. In today's lecture, we'll be discussing about a three-phase converters. As we all know that three-phase converters have the capacity to give more power to a circuit as compared to single-phase converters. So in today's lecture, we'll be discussing about three-phase half-wave converters and three-phase full-wave converters. We'll also be discussing the operation of these converters when the firing angles are varied. We will be discussing about a three-phase three-pulse converter or a three-phase M3 converter having R load. So as we have discussed in the previous lectures, for single-phase half-wave converters and for single-phase full-wave converters, we know that if an R load is present, it means that the voltage and current waveforms will be in the same phase, and three phase is nothing but we are using a three-phase supply, therefore it is called as three-phase. We call it as three pulse because here we have three thyristors that is why we call it as three pulse three pulse converters. Now let us look into how this circuit will perform. Now for understanding the performance, let us look into a three-phase waveform. Now this is my three-phase waveform. So here we can see that one wave is starting from 0, one wave is starting at this position, and one phase is starting in the positive half. So here I can see that this is my first phase, this is my second phase, and this is my third phase. So I am having a three-phase supply I am having. Now here we clearly know that each phase will have a difference of 120 degree. That is, for example, if this is starting at 0, the second phase will be starting at 120 degree and the third phase will be starting at 240 degree. So if the first phase is getting over at 360 degree, the second phase will get over at plus 120 degree, 360 plus 120 degree, and the third phase will get over at 360 degree plus 240 degree. So this is a clearly understood concept about three phase. Now here one thing that we have to keep in mind is that, as discussed earlier, a thyristor, when positive pulse is given, it becomes forward biased and thyristor is not turning on. For turning on the thyristor, for a positive waveform as well as an gate pulse is required, that is a firing pulse is required. When I am giving a firing pulse, from that instant my thyristor will start conduction. Now here we can see that if the firing pulse given is 0 degree, as in the previous when we were discussing about single phase, we have seen that when the firing pulse is given, from that instant my thyristor will start conduction. So as we are talking about a three phase, here we have to consider some more factors. We have to consider that at a same time, for example, if I am taking this time, here I can see that there are three components of my waveform. First waveform is reaching the maximum, the second waveform is reaching is having some negative values, the third waveform is also having some negative values. The second waveform is having increasing negative values and the third waveform is having decreasing negative values. So in this manner, for example, if I am turning on thyristor T1, at that instant I have to check what is the value of the other waveform. So based on this, if I am giving a firing pulse at 0, it doesn't mean that my thyristor will directly start conduction at the same time. So here when I am talking about three pulse converters, the thyristor will start, if I am giving the firing pulse at 0 degree, the thyristor will start conducting after 30 degrees. So this is a very basic concept that we have to keep in mind, that is, if I am giving a firing pulse, at which instant I am giving firing pulse. So this can be x, this can be any instant. After giving the firing pulse, only after 30 degree will my thyristor start conducting. So here in this waveform, it is quite clear that if I am giving a firing pulse at 0, my thyristor will start conducting at this that I have mentioned here. It is clearly seen when alpha is equal to 0, it will start conduction only at this point. If the firing pulse given is, for example, this is my first half waveform. So first half waveform, it is almost about 180 degree. We can see here that it is split into three halves. So I'll take this to be 60 degree, I'll take this to be 120 degree. Now for example, if I'm giving my waveform at 60 degree, so as we have earlier said, plus 30 degree, that means my thyristor will turn on at 90 degree. So this is 90 degree of my waveform. So here it is clearly here we can clearly see that if I am giving firing pulse at 60 degree, my thyristor will start conduction at 90 degree. So this is the full waveform, the first half of the waveform. This is its center portion. So this is alpha is equal to this is time omega t is equal to 90 degree. So we can clearly see that if I am giving a firing pulse at 60 degree plus 30, that is at 90 degree it will start conduction. So from this waveform it is quite clear that I can clearly see here that if I am giving a firing pulse at 120 degree, now this is my 120 degree. If I am giving a firing pulse at 120 degree, clearly we can see that plus 30 degree, so it will start conduction only at this point. That is, my thyristor will turn on at this point only this much portion of the waveform I will be getting. Now from this it is quite clear that if I am giving a firing pulse at 0 degree, so it clearly signifies that my T1 thyristor, it will start conducting from 30 degree to 150 degree. So as I have said earlier, each phase there is a phase difference of 120 degree. So after 120 degree every thyristor will start conducting. So if I am talking about T2 will start conducting from 150 degree for a period of 120 degree, that is from 150 to 270 degree my thyristor T2 will start conducting. If I am talking about thyristor T3, it will start conducting from 270 degree to plus 120, that is 390 degree. Till 390 degree it can conduct, that is if the firing pulse given is alpha is equal to 0 degree. So 30 degree it will start conduction, the second will start conducting at 150 degree, and third will start conducting at 270 degree. So this is a clearly understood concept. Now let us move further. Now here we can see that one more thing that we have to keep in mind is that for 3-phase or for any converter we have 2 modes of operation. That is, if the firing angle is less than 90 degree, I call it as converter mode of operation, and if the firing pulse is greater than 90 degree, I call it as the inverter mode of operation. Inverter mode of operation, it is nothing but, as we have seen, my waveforms, the average that I will be getting will be of the negative portion. That is why I call it as the inverter mode of operation. Now in 3-pulse converter, as we have said, SCR can conduct for 120 degree. Every SCR has a capacity to conduct for 120 degree. Unless and until if a freewheeling diode if I am using, or if I am going for a RL load, that is another scenario. But if I am using R load, my thyristor can conduct for 120 degree. Now let us look at the waveform. So this is the waveform. This is the source voltage. Source voltage is nothing but, here we can see that here we are having three phase supplies we are having. So my wave is starting from here to here. The first peak I am getting here, second peak I am getting here, third peak, that is VA, VB, VC. 3 phases are there. Again it is repeating the same sequence, ABC sequence it is repeating. Now here we can see that here there are 2 scenarios are there. The first scenario, if the alpha angle is less than 30 degree, the firing pulse that I am giving, if the firing pulse is less than 30 degree, that is the first scenario. Now let us see, this is 0 degree, this is 60, 120 and 180. So 30 degree will be something here, this is 30 degree. So if the firing pulse given is at 30 degree, as we have already discussed, less than 30 degree, so this means let me take it to be here, the firing pulse I am giving, the firing pulse here, that is less than 30 degree. I am giving the firing pulse less than 30 degree. Now here we can see that when I am giving a firing pulse, after that instant plus 30 degree, there only my thyristor will start conducting. So plus 30 degree, let me consider, somewhere here my thyristor will start conducting. So somewhere here my thyristor T1 will start conducting. After thyristor T1 is starting to conduct, from there I have to move 120 degree. So this is 120 degree. Here my thyristor T2 is conducting. From T2 again 120 degree I have to shift. Shifting 120 degree, I will get somewhere here. This is T3. So here we can clearly understand that if the alpha is less than 30 degrees, this is my 30 degree. So if it is less than 30 degrees, somewhere here my firing pulse I am giving. Now where I am giving firing pulse, from that plus 30 degree has to be taken. So plus 30 degree means here my thyristor will get turned on. And when my first thyristor is getting turned on, after that 120 degree. I have to move 120 degree. After that I'll get the operation of my second thyristor, and plus 120 degree from the time thyristor T2 is turning on, I'll get the operation of the third thyristor T1, T2, T3. We can clearly understand from this diagram. Now moving further, as I have said, thyristor T1, let us come back. As I have said, here my thyristor T1 is operating, here thyristor T2 is turning on, here thyristor T3 is turning on. Now for example, we can see that thyristor T1 operates for A phase, thyristor T2 operates for B phase, thyristor T3 operates for C phase. So this is my A phase. So I can see here that, so this is the waveform that I'll get. Starting from here till here, this is the waveform I'll get. Then again for VB, then VC. So clearly we can see here, that is if my alpha is less than 30 degree, this waveform, this is for alpha is less than 30 degree. So if my alpha is less than 30 degree, clearly we can see that this is the waveform that I am getting. This is the waveforms that I'll get. So it is clearly understood. Now let us move on to the second condition. Now moving on to the second condition, so this is for the second condition, that is if the alpha is greater than 30 degree. If alpha is greater than 30 degree means, let us look from the source voltage. So this is my 30 degree. So if alpha is greater than 30 degree, let me take it to be somewhere here. That is here I am giving my firing pulse. My firing pulse is given here. My thyristor will start conducting plus 30. Now let me take plus 30. Somewhere here my thyristor will start conducting. Somewhere here my thyristor will start conducting. So I'll get T1 to be on here. From here, if I take 120 degree, somewhere here I'll get, this is my T2 conducting. So as we know that T1 is conducting for A phase, it is coming here. As it is an AC wave, it will get commutated over here. Then I'll get a 0 portion, then again VB, then again a 0 portion, then again VC I'll be getting. Now let us look into the waveform. This is the waveform for alpha is greater than 30 degrees. So here we can clearly see that T1 is starting here, it is coming to a 0 because of natural commutation. A 0 portion I am getting, and this is the waveform that I will be getting for a 3-phase 3-pulse converter when the firing angle is greater than 30 degree. Now let us look at what is the how to achieve the average voltage. So as average voltage, talking about average voltage, in the previous case what we did was 1 by 2 pi we had taken. If I was considering the average of the whole cycle, if I was considering the average of the half cycle, I was considering 1 by pi. Now here also half cycles average I will be considering, therefore 1 by pi. Now here we know that we have 3 phases, therefore this one will get multiplied by 3. So I will get 3 by pi integral. What is the limit that I am getting? The limit that I will get is, for example, if alpha is less than 30 degree, let us consider the case of alpha less than 30 degree. So limit I will get is, I will get V naught is equal to 3 by pi. The limit that I will get is pi by 6 plus alpha. Pi by 6 is nothing but 30 plus alpha. Why 30? Because as we know that if the firing pulse is given at 15 degree, my thyristor will start conducting at 45 degree only. So this is my alpha. To that alpha, I have to add 30 degree. Therefore, pi by 6 plus alpha, we know that till 150 degree. So as in the first we have discussed, that is T1, it will conduct from 30 degree to 150 degree. So this is 150 degree, 5 pi plus 6 plus alpha. So the limits that I am getting is, it will conduct from 30 degree, that is 30 degree plus alpha, and 150 degree plus alpha. And we know that it is a sine wave, so I can take it to be sine omega d omega t. Integrating this value, I get V naught is equal to 3 root 3 by 2 pi Vmp cos alpha. Vmp is nothing but the maximum phase voltage. Now if I am writing this same expression in terms of maximum line voltage, I will get 3 Vml by 2 pi into cos alpha. Now this is clearly understood. Now similarly same thing we'll get for alpha is greater than 30 degree also. If we calculate, this is the same expression that we'll be getting. So as we have discussed in the previous converter classes, that is for single phase, full wave, half wave and semi converters, we clearly know that if how to find out I naught, how to find out power, how to find out power factor, IOR, VOR, and all these things we have clearly discussed in the previous lecture. So just look at the hints for that and we can directly make out how all the other expressions we can get. Now moving further, this was discussed for R load. Now if we are having a RL load, this is the same circuit diagram that we have, but only small change will be there. With R in series, a inductor L will be connected. So as already we have discussed, for an RL load, the current will lag the voltage. So this is clearly discussed in the previous lectures. Now let us move forward. The circuit diagram will be very similar, only this load it will become RL. Now based on this, let us look at the waveforms what we will be getting. Now as we know here, as we already know that if the alpha is 0, now if alpha is 0, this is my source voltage, that is for every firing pulse plus 30 degree has to be added. So it is clearly understood that if alpha is 0, from here only I'll start getting the waveform. If my alpha's value is greater, for example, let me take value of alpha to be somewhere around 45 degree. Let me take, now if it is somewhere around 45 degree, I know that plus 30 I'll get some waveform like this. Okay, so here this my thyristor T1 will start conducting here, thyristor T2 plus 120 degree, T2 will start conducting, and from there plus 120 degree T3 will start conducting. Now when my alpha is in this condition, so it can be understood that it will start conduction, it will move to 0. Now here it has to terminate and a small 0 portion we have to get, then only thyristor T2 has to start. But from the waveform it is clear that I am not getting a 0 portion, but I am getting some peak in the negative portion, that is some extension in the negative half I am getting. Why we are getting this extension? This extension is because the inductor in the load, it has stored some energy, and when my thyristor's value is becoming 0, or when my thyristor is turned off here because of line commutation or natural commutation, the inductor will start to discharge, and this is the portion that I am getting because of the discharge of my inductor. Now after the inductor has discharged, again thyristor T2 will start conducting, and again it will go and it will stop, but the load current has not ceased. Why? Because the inductor has stored some energy and that it is trying to discharge. Now this is clearly understood, that is T1 T2, it is nothing but the values of current that we are getting, and as we have discussed, VT1 is nothing but source minus load, whatever is remaining that we get as my VT1. Okay, now this was for a RL load. Now when discussing about RL load also, we'll get the similar expressions as we have discussed in the previous case. Here also the similar expressions we'll get. Now let us move further. The next circuit is for a 3-phase full converter. Now in full converters, it is clearly seen that this can be called as a 6-pulse converter as well. Why 6-pulse converter? Because we have 6 SCRs here. So if I am using 6 SCRs, for every SCR I have to give a firing pulse. So as I have to give 6 firing pulses, this is also called as a 6-pulse converter. Now here one more thing that we have to keep in mind is that this T1, T3, T5, they are acting as the positive group, and T4, T6, T2, they are acting as the negative group. Here the load is RLE load. RLE, E is nothing but a EMF that can be used to represent back EMFs of a DC motor something, or RL, the characteristics of every loads that we have. Then we can see here that there are 3 phases there, A, B, C. Now let us move further. Moving further, as we have clearly discussed, in 6-pulse converter 6 SCRs are there. From that 3 SCRs, T1, T3, T5, they belong to the positive group. T2, T4, T6, they belong to the negative group. Now, one more thing that we have to keep in mind here is that if I am talking about positive group, so in the previous example we had three thyristors T1, T2, T3. After T1 was turned on, after 120 degree T2 will turn on. After T2 is turned on, after 120 degree T3 will turn on. This was the case for 3 pulse converters. Now I am talking about 6 pulse converters. So in 6 pulse converters, we know that in the positive group we have T1, T3, T5. So after T1 is on, 120 degree after that T3 will be turned on. After T3 is on, 120 degree after that T5 will be turned on. Similarly for the negative group T2, T4, T6. After T2 is on, after 120 degree T4 will turn on. After T4 is on, after 120 degree T6 will turn on. So this we have to keep in mind. Now if we look at this, we can see that a commutation occurs every 60 degree. That is, after every 60 degree, one SCR will get turned off and one SCR will turn off. Now for example, let me take this to be the instant. This is 60 degree. Now here one thyristor was coming, that is T1 was conducting, and T1 is stopping at this moment and T2 is starting to conduct at at 60 degree. Now we can say that T1 is my outgoing thyristor and T1 is my incoming thyristor. So here we can clearly see that the values, there should be a difference. That is, the T2 value should be increasing in nature and T1's value should be decreasing in nature. Then only we can get a positive or we can get a smooth commutation. So here it is clearly understood that after every 60 degree we get a smooth commutation, or we have a commutation every 60 degree. That is, if for a 360 degree cycle every SCR will conduct for 60 degree, that is 6 into 360, we get a full cycle, 360 degree cycle we get. Now as in the previous diagram, so this diagram we call it as the three-phase waveform, three-phase waveform, where I am considering the phase voltages I am considering. The similar thing I have sketched here, but here this is also a three-phase waveform, but here we have considered using line voltages. We have sketched using line voltages. So here we can see that this is one wave, second wave, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am having 6 waveforms here. That is, as we know that in three phase we can get different line voltages like VAB, VAC, VBC, VBA, VCA, VCB. We will be using this line voltages, three phase waveform using line voltages, because using this we can clearly and easily understand the operation of a three phase 6 pulse converter. Now one thing that we have to keep in mind here is that is, in the previous case I have said if the firing angle is alpha, plus that I have to give 30 degree. Now here we have to keep one thing in mind, that is, if the firing angle, whatever firing angle I am giving, with that I have to add a 60 degree. That is, if my firing pulse is given at 0 degree, T1 will start conducting at 60 degree only. Now some examples I have listed over here. That is, if my firing angle is 0 degree, it means that T1 will turn on at 60 degree, plus 60 T2 120, plus 60 180, T3 will turn on at 180 degree, plus 60 240, that is T4 will turn on at 240 degree, T5 300 and T6 360 degree. That is, whatever firing angle is given plus 60. After that we get T1. With T1 we have to add 60, we get T2's firing angle. With T2 we have to add 60, we get T3, and so on. For example, if I am considering 90 degrees the firing angle, 90 plus 60 150. T1 will turn on at 150, plus 60 at 210 T2 will turn on, plus 60 270, at 270 T3 will turn on, and similarly at 450 degree T6 will turn on. Now this we have to keep in mind. Now this is my first half. So this is my first half. It means that this is 60 degree, 60 degree, and that is 60, 120 and 180 degree I am getting. And this portion, that is the triangles connecting, this portion is 30 degrees. So this is 30, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 and 180. So I can split my waveform into 6 halves. I can split. So here clearly it can be seen that 6 different line voltages I have tried to sketch on a I have tried to sketch a waveform for 3-phase using 6 line voltages. Now how to sketch that? We can easily sketch that in this manner. This some triangles I'll sketch, and I'll just join the peaks of the triangle. Just joining the peaks of the triangle. This is my first waveform, this is my second waveform, this is my third waveform, fourth waveform, fifth waveform, and sixth waveform. So in this manner easily, that is, if I'm using a scale and marking, in this similar manner I can easily sketch the waveform, so it is clearly evident. So in this manner, if I am sketching, I can clearly sketch a 3-phase waveform using line voltages. And to draw the 3-phase waveform using phase voltages, what I can do is I can just sketch a triangle in this manner. So in this manner, we can clearly see that I can sketch a 3-phase waveform using phase. So these are some of the tricks that we use to sketch the waveforms in the during the examination, when we have to list out the operation of each and every type of device. Now, as I have said earlier, if the positive group, it starts that is T1 after 120 degree, T3 after 120 degree, T5 after T2, then after T2 120 degree, T4, then T6. In this manner, conduction will be there. So this is just the how switching is taking place. Now this is T1, it is conducting for 120 degree as in the previous cases. So after T1 is on, after 60 degree, T2 will turn on. So it is clearly evident that T1 is conducting for 120 degree. So when T1 was on, after T1 after 60 degree, T2 is on. After T2 is on, after 60 degree, T3 is on. After 60 degree of T3 on, T4 is on. In this similar manner, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. The commutation will go on in this manner, and we can clearly see that the positive groups are getting turned on after every 120 degree and the negative group is getting turned on after every 120 degree. Now let us look here. Now here we can see that initially for the first 60 degree duration I have T1, T6, then I have T1, T2. Now let us go back to the waveform. Now looking at the waveform, as I have said, first I have T1, T6, then I have T1, T2. So I can clearly see here that this is T1, T6. So it is clearly understood that when T1 and T6 is connected, I get VAB waveform I get when T1 and T2 is connected. When T1 and T2 is connected, it is clearly seen that I get VAC waveform. First I am getting VAB, then I am getting VAC. So in this similar manner, if I look at the switching pattern, so I can get 6 different sequences I can get. Again I'll come back to T1, T6. Again I'll come back to the start from T1, T6. It is clearly understood that first I'll get VAB, then VAC, VBC, VABA, VCA and VCB. In this manner I'll get. So the line voltages that I have sketched, they are also in the same pattern. So clearly we can see here that I am having VAB, VAC, VBC, VBA, VCA and VCB. Clearly it can be seen here that is the first waveform is of VAB. Then after that VAC is starting. So this is quite clear about the waveforms. Now let us discuss about the operation of this 3-phase full converter. Now as we have said that after every 60 degree a commutation will occur. Every thyristor will operate for 120 degree. Whatever may be the thyristor, every thyristor will operate for 120 degree, and after 60 degree there will be change. That is, from T1 to T2 a change will be there, or from T2 to T3 a change will be there. After 60 degree, every 60 degree a commutation will be there. Now it is clearly understood that if I want to maintain a ABC phase sequence, what I have to do is I have to follow the order, that is, after T1 is on, T2 will turn on. After T2 is turned on, T3 will turn on. In this manner, I have to follow a sequence. So when I'm following this sequence, I get a ABC phase sequence I'll be getting in the output load. Now, for the source to energize the load, one SCR from positive group and one SCR from negative group should conduct. That is, if there should be a current flow in this direction, that is, if across the load a current flow has to be there, a positive group thyristor and a negative group thyristor both should conduct, then only I will be getting a current flow across my load. Now let us look at how this is operating. Now let us look at the first waveform. In the first, it is said that the firing angle is 0 degree. So firing angle is 0 degree means, so at this point my thyristor will turn on. So as I have said that if my firing angle is 0 degree, that means that when thyristor T1 will turn on, I have to do alpha plus 60 degree. When I'll get the duration at which my thyristor T1 will turn on. Now as we know that this is the first half waveform. So as clearly we have said, this is 60 degree, 120 degree and 180 degree. So when the firing angle is 0 degree, my thyristor T1 will turn on at 60 degree. Okay, this is quite evident. Then after T1 is turned on, from that I have to add 60 degree. I'll get the turn on time of T2. After T2 is turned on, again a 60 degree I have to add. I'll get T3's turn on, T4's turn on, T5's turn on and T6 turn on in this manner. So as I have earlier said, first I'll get VAB. So first I'll get VAB, then I'll get VAC, then I'll get VBC. So we have to keep this sequence in mind. Now based on this sequence, let us look. That is, T1 is getting turned on here, T2 is getting turned on here, T3, T4. That is, when T1 is turned on, I'll have to consider VAB. This is the waveform of VAB. Okay. Then VAC, that T2 is turned on, VAC I'll get, then VBC I'll get, then VB I'll get, then VC I'll get, then VCB I'll get. So when alpha is equal to 0 degree, this is the output voltage waveform that I'll be getting. This is evident from the first diagram. This can be clearly understood from the first diagram. Now let us move on to the next waveform. Now in the next waveform, for understanding that next waveform, let me use this and then we'll come back to how we are getting this pattern. Okay, now initially we have seen that my firing angle is 60 degree. So when my firing angle is 60 degree, it means that my thyristor T1 will turn on at 120 degree. Okay, so as we know that this is my 60 degree, this is 120 degree. So at 120 degree my thyristor T1 will turn on. This is T1 turning on. Then after that plus 60 I have to add. So at this duration thyristor T2 will turn on. After that again plus 60 I have to add. Here T3 will turn on. Now as I have earlier said, for T1 VAB will conduct, then VAC will conduct. So here I can see that, so this is my VAB waveform. So it is clearly evident that this is the portion that I'll get. That is, this is the portion that I'll be getting, VAB. Only this portion up to here I'll be getting. Again for T2 I know that VAC I have to consider. So VAC I'll be getting. Then T3 VBC I'll be getting. So this is the type of waveform that I'll be getting. Up to 0 I have reached. Then again next in this manner, this is the waveform I'll be getting. So this is the waveform for T when alpha is equal to 60 degree. So I can clearly say that this is my 0 degree. It is not crossing over that to the negative portion when the firing angle is 60 degree. Now let us see when the firing angle is 90 degree. When the firing angle is 90 degree, it is quite clear that this is 60 plus 30. This is the 90 degree. This is the time when I am giving my firing angle. 90 plus 60, as I have said, 90 plus 60, it gives me 150 degree. That is, my thyristor T1 will turn on at 120 degree. This is 60, this is 120, 120 plus 30, 150. So here my thyristor T1 will turn on. Then from here I have to add another 60 degree. At this duration my thyristor T2 will turn on. Again at this duration my thyristor T3 will turn on. So as I have already said, when my thyristor T1 is turning on, it will follow VAB. So it is clearly evident that this is moving to the negative portion. Then T2. T2, for T2 I have to consider VAC. I have to consider VAC is also moving to the negative portion. So this is, for example, if this is my 0 degree, zero line, then I'll get a waveform which is shifted. It is similar to 60 degree, but it has shifted a little. That is, it has moved to the negative portion when my alpha is 90 degree. So here it is clearly evident from this diagram that alpha has shifted. That is, the waveform has shifted a little. Now let us move on to when, as I have said, when alpha is less than 90 degree, I'll get waveforms in the positive half. When alpha is greater than 90 degree, I'll get the inversion mode, that I'll get outputs which are in the negative portion of my 0 degree, that is below 0 degree I'll get. Now when alpha is 150 degree, now let us look at when alpha is 150 degree. Now as I have said, 60, 120, 150. So this is the duration when firing pulse is given. From here I have to add 60 degree. So this is the duration when my thyristor T1 is going to turn on, and this is the duration when my thyristor T2 is going to turn on. For T1 I will be looking at VAB. So I can clearly see that VAB. So this is my VAB. VAB is going in this manner. So I'll get this portion of VAB, that is thyristor T1 is on, I'll get this portion. Then for T2 I've said we will be looking for VAC. So it is clearly seen that, so I'll be getting some waveform in the negative portion, that is below the 0 line. I'll be getting some waveforms I'll be getting. Now it is quite evident from the diagram that when 150 degree, when the firing angle is 150 degree, I'll be getting the waveform in the negative portions I'll be getting. So it is quite evident that thyristor T1 is starting at this moment as discussed earlier. That is, this is from the previous cycle. That is, for example, T1 to T6 cycle is coming, that then again T1 to T6 cycle will turn on. So before this T1 is coming, some cycle was going on. So because of that I am getting these waveforms I am getting. Similarly, if I am considering this is also because of the previous cycles that are happening. So directly we can clearly we can see that when my firing pulse value is going beyond 90 degree, I'll be getting inversion mode of operation I'll be getting. Now let us look at into how we'll get the the expression for average voltage. For expression for average voltage, how I'll be getting. Now what I have done is I have taken this portion and I have resketched it over here. Now resketching it over here, we clearly see that this is what my 180 degree, one half cycle clearly I am getting. Now here this is, I am considering this to be the origin. Now from the origin, clearly it can be seen that this portion, this is for a previous waveform that I am getting. Now this portion, it is 60 degree. Then I am having the next 60 degree portion, and this is the 60 degree. So this is 60, this is 120, this is 180. 60 degree I can write it to be pi by 3. 30 degree I can write it to be pi by 6. Now if I look at this portion for VAB, it is clearly understood that this is the portion for VAB. So I have to integrate for this portion only. So this is my origin. Now from my origin, this is 30 degree and this is my firing pulse. Now if I am subtracting pi by 6 minus alpha, I'll get at this point. Then if I am adding pi plus, this is my pi by 6, to pi by 6 plus alpha, if I am adding, I'll get to this point. That is, if I am going to the negative portion, pi by 6 minus alpha, I'll get at this point. And if I am adding pi by 6 plus alpha, I'll get to this point. So these are my two limits. Now let us look further. V0 is equal to, so as I have said, for 3 waves, half portion I am considering. So here what I am doing is I am taking the limits to be minus pi by 6 minus alpha, pi by 6 plus alpha, plus I am going, then we know that VML cos omega t into d omega t. When I am integrating over that duration, I will get my final expression to be V0 is equal to 3 VML by pi cos alpha. So this is the expression that I'll get for V0. So if I know the expression for V0, clearly I can get the expression for I0, power factor and all the other things.